Three, two, one, go. All right. Good morning from Italy. I have made my way to Sicily today, but they still have these wonderful uh, panera, I think that's how you say it, cafes all across Italy. It's amazing. Highly recommend someone in the United States copying this amazing, delicious coffee. Turns out you can subscribe and it's free. It's like $8 a month. So cool. Who would have thought? I am at Panera today. But thanks for suffering through 30 seconds of that with me. This is Harrison Bonner, your host from Wallace and Real Estate Investments, here again today for your daily episode of Find That Flip. I always like these solo episodes because Alex sometimes I feel like Alex like has a hypothetical leash on me, and it's really like a leash that I put myself into, and because it's uh, I don't know, like I can like it's him and I kind of talking on this, and I can sort of see like it sort of feels like you're having a conversation with someone. I mean, we are, but when it's just me on here, just kind of riffing and shooting the shit, the leash kind of comes off a little bit. So hope you guys enjoy that. But all right, so today on Find That Flip, rather than just me talking about another single family flip, we're still going to kind of do that. But I figured we could use this a little bit as like a case study of a past deal that we've done. Actually, our very first investment that we purchased. It was right around this time 9 years ago that we were doing demo on this project. We actually purchased it on St. Patrick's Day, which is March 17th, I think, 2016. And it was a deal that we put under agreement with the homeowner for $1. And it was like we didn't really realize it at the time, but like we're sitting at the closing table with the closing attorney, and like we had brought some cash to closing for some reason, and we yeah, I had like this this like envelope of cash, and there was something wrong in the closing disclosure. So the closing attorney was like, "Oh, you actually owe me like another $500 or something." And I pull out this wad of cash and just start putting $100 bills on the table. And he's like, "This guy's like, what in the fuck is going on? These guys are 24 years old. This is insane." But we bought this amazing single family deal in Brockton. We just, we still like to think of ourselves as kind of cowboy gunslingers. At least maybe that's me pretending to be a cowboy. We're a bit more strategic now. We were a little bit more cowboy in those days. But we bought an amazing deal, nevertheless, 9 years ago, um, to the day. Like I said, we were doing demo. I'll have to go through like my time hop or something and see if I can find some photos. Uh, but I had like crazy long hair and was about 15 pounds lighter. But they were who knew those were the good old days, which I guess I'll be saying about now in another 10 years. But thought we could do a little bit of a case study to talk about that deal a little bit, and we can sort of compare it to some current deals in the market today. So a little bit of a blend of both. But our first deal was, oh God, 156 Nicholson Drive. No, that can't be right. Nicholson Drive, Brockton. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. No, it's not one. Or I'm blanking on the address. It's not 156. It was over here. Oh my God. Oh man, Nicholson. Oh my goodness. I'm dropping the ball on you guys. Nicholson Drive, Brockton. It was off North Quincy Street. 118. 118 Nicholson. I knew it was Knew it was that was it. I knew it was a one something. This is very similar to how it looked when we finished with it. Actually, they did a little bit more landscaping, but 118 Nicholson Drive. This was our very first deal that we did. Single family. It was a fire damaged house. We put this little awning and front porch on. But this was a short sale deal. Back in those days, we had just gotten out of the student painter business where we were door knocking neighborhoods to sell paint jobs. And one of our very first mentors in the real estate business had the strategy of buying pre foreclosure lists and going around to these towns that had a high number of pre foreclosures. A lot of these owners were upside down. They had refinanced in the days of like 2010, or not 2010, but like 2007. Like when sort of housing prices were like the most inflated before they crashed, and this and a neighborhood like a market like Brockton got hit really hard when the home prices were like cut in half. So like uh, you know uh, the homes that were like sort of owned by like homeowners that didn't really care about the condition of the property. There's always going to be a certain percentage of people that just sort of let their property go. But the ones that had sort of let their property go and were underwater because they had been purchased or refinanced at a time before before the market had dropped significantly in the 2010s. Like this was like 2016, and some of these markets are still feeling the effects of that time period of '07 and '08. So anyway, that was really our target. And our coach was like, you buy these pre foreclosure lists in these markets that have a high density of deals like this, and you go door knock and you tell them you've got I hear you have a pending property problem. I'm here to help. And as a real estate investor, the goal was to find the people that were interested in selling their house because it's a stressful situation. Maybe there's not much they can do, and they say, okay, well, I'm 300,000 underwater on this house. I'll never be able to sell it. You know, my living conditions are deplorable. Maybe it was like a parent that owned the house and then kids lived in it, and then it got bummed around. Like these sort of things happen all the time. And now the property's just in disarray, and they're like, you know what? I'll, I, uh, I'll move. I'll move. You got me. A lot of times they could get moving assistance of like $5,000 to $10,000 from the bank, just so that the bank could get this liability off of their balance sheet. The bank would just they'd agree to a short sale, and they'd even agree to giving the owner some moving expenses to sort of additionally incentivize them just that much more to get rid of the property. So this is exactly what we structured on this house. Had fire damage. I think they were like living in the yard because the entire upstairs, there was no structural damage, but cosmetically it was like just ruined. There was like 8 dumpsters worth of stuff inside the house. I mean, I'll have to find some before pictures, but it was insane. And we were able to get they said, okay, we'll sell you the house. Sit down with them. We sign a purchase and sale contract for $1 with $1 down, and we start negotiating with the bank. And we beat them up and we beat them up and we beat them up, the bank figuratively, not the homeowner. We beat up the bank figuratively until we could, we're trying to get the best deal possible. Bank doesn't give a shit. It's like it's not emotional. The homeowner doesn't care. It is a business deal, and we will use everything, every bit of leverage we've got to get the best deal we can. This is actually how we did our first 7 deals. We would do this and then sell the contract. But on this one, we ended up buying it. We knew it was a good deal because someone was actually going to be willing to pay like 20 or 30,000 over what we had an agreed price on with the bank, which was 90,000 bucks. A buyer fell through, and this is a 2,300 square foot single family, something like that, maybe 25. That needed a lot of work. It needed a full gut. It was gross, but we were getting this for 90,000 bucks, and a market that at the time, we thought we could get probably 350 for this single family when it was all done, which is, I don't know exactly what our estimation was, but that was what we ended up getting. So we were like, this is a home run deal. We took it to a couple hard money lenders, and even like as an inexperienced flipper, they were like, uh, this is the killer deal, even though you guys probably have no idea what you're doing, which we definitely didn't. And you're 24 years old. You scrape together a little bit of cash to bring to the table, and we'll fund this. This is a good deal for you to get you off the ground and kind of into your career. So that was what we did. We bought it, and we met a guy at a competitor to Panera, a Starbucks. You may have heard of it. We met a guy at a Starbucks, and who was, he was like a labor contractor, or like, which I think is a really good uh, type of contractor to look for when you're doing a house flip. Is like to look for someone who is a okay, they're a GC, right? But they're not that like sort of management GC that's pulling strings. They're that labor GC. They have a couple of guys that work with them on their crew, and they'll do demo, they'll do painting, they'll do sheetrock, they'll do cabinets, they'll do doors. They can do kind of a jack of all trades, if you will. They're not going to do the plumbing, they're not going to do the electrical. Maybe they won't do uh, some other specific things. Like maybe they won't do the roof, right? I think we did a roof on this, so we brought in a roofer, but they can handle like 60-ish% of the interior scope because it's just sort of basic carpentry. Um, and you're not doing something in like it's not a $10 million house. I'm doing a $10 million property. I'm not going to have the painter also doing the cabinet carpentry. I mean, there's this is an entry level price point, so you can get away with some blending of trades like that. But anyway, we met a guy at Starbucks, and he brings his kids, and the I think we thought we were better. Like it went really well in hindsight, actually, especially considering some future like working relationships with other contractor types that went bad later on. Looked back on this relationship with this other guy, which we thought kind of ended kind of shitty, and he kind of sucked. But I think really we just kind of sucked, and we didn't understand. We didn't understand the business as well. And I think by and large he was a pretty good guy. But and he did a good job on the house, so we can't complain. And we made money, so we certainly can't complain on that in that regard either. But anyway, yeah, we bought this house 9 years ago. So let's take a look into some of the numbers. As I said, we bought it for $90,000. We spent. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna search it here. Actually, 118 Nicholson. Let's see if I can get some interior pictures. Nicholson Drive, Brockton. 2550. Yep. Last sold. So whoever bought it still lives there. Really great photos. I must say so myself. Um, this little bit of curb appeal really helped. We had like 100 people at this open house, but yeah, this was a nice little single family. So we gutted the entire inside. The second floor was actually, it started as a ranch, single story house. There are a lot of branches in this neighborhood, but actually in this entire market, there's a lot of those Campanelli style ranches. I think named after the company that built a lot of them. But at some point, the second floor was added on, and the second floor framing system was a truss framing system. So effectively, the entire floor assembly was an independent structure of the first floor. So there weren't really any load bearing wall issues. We could kind of like open up as much as you wanted. If I'm remembering it correctly, like maybe not totally. You can't have it totally open, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it has big bonus room, this bathroom on the fourth floor. This bonus room is huge. Back door to the patio. We gutted the entire house. I think 4 bedrooms upstairs. Just like really, really spacious. A great first project, and yeah, gutted the whole thing. Did a little bit of sistering on the fire damaged roof framing, but came back together really nice. So it got everything, full electrical, full plumbing. Um, we repaired the siding. There was vinyl. I think we added some vinyl, and then we actually painted it. So we tried to strategically spend money on the outside. Put up the fence. Had this little shed, which I don't think we really did anything to but clean out. But it's a shed; it didn't really need it. Um, I think we put this deck here, which I don't know if we really needed. We probably could have done something a little less expensive. Of course, this is just a little platform. So anyway, we spent about 150,000 renovating this entire thing. We probably could have spent a little bit less. I mean, it was a long time ago, and I'd have to really take a deep dive into um, some of those numbers at the time, which are probably kind of too far gone. But I remember we spent about 150. So we're into this house for 240,000 or so. Sort of soft and hard costs, excluding holding costs and sort of your buying and selling fees. Yeah, we're into this for 240, and it sold for 350. So I think after paying back the investors and all the interest and everything, we made like 52,000 in profit, and this was like we had it on the market within 6 months, like in the early fall market. Seagrass was still green. When we had bought this, I don't think this is edited, and we started this in March, so we had it on I think in September, and it was a great first deal. Made us think the business was a little bit too easy, I think, but nevertheless, it's great to get a win on your first one to sort of inspire you to keep going. Um, and got this to the studs and put it back together. Looking back now, super simple project. Felt incredibly complicated at the time, um, but when you have no idea what you're doing, I guess it kind of was. So I'm curious what. Oh my goodness! I mean, who knows if this is accurate, right? Who knows? $649,000 for this house now in 9 years. It's not quite, but gone up in value by about 85%. Not quite double. Um, Good for those homeowners. But they haven't sold, and probably for good reason. Where are they going to go? They're going to sell this house and get what? They're not going to get anything this size for anything any less expensive. Hopefully they maintained it well. Let's maybe check on a couple single families near there, right? 118 Nicholson 02301. Within a mile. 92 single families. Holy shit. All right, let's narrow let's on market and sold. Brockton is still a crazy hot market. Let's go 1,500 to 2,500 square feet. Probably still a lot. 36. It's still a lot. All right, let's check out what's going on here. This 1,600 square feet, 3 bed, 1.5 bath, sold for 400. I don't know what kind of condition this is in. Obviously, pretty good. Pretty good condition, I'd say. It's top of market for that size. Yeah, I mean, 5 bed, 2.5 bath, 2,400 square feet, 645. This Menlo, yeah, I mean, Nicholson is more of a neighborhood street, much better street. It's 645. It's just insane. Um, the same deal today, if it sells for 650, which I think is, based on what I'm seeing, not an unreasonable expectation. 5 bed, 3 bath, 23, 620. Nice house. Ours is a little more, a little bit more spacious. This feels smaller than 2,300 square feet. Are they including a basement? Yeah, they're including a basement. So 1,700 above. So if you're getting 650, probably for the scope of work, you're probably still spending about 150. I think we could probably get away with spending 150,000. Know what we know now. Even if some prices have gone up a little bit, we're just better, a little more resourceful. So if this sells for 650, what's my calculator tell me? 0.7, 455. Yeah, I want to buy it in its condition. I'd want to buy this for 300,000 now. And in its same condition as when we bought it, right? And now I don't know if you could get that. I mean, it wasn't like this deal was on market. Like I said, we were beating up the bank in a short sale. Um, so no one else really knew how good of a deal it was until we closed. But with those numbers, we'd want to buy this house, the 118 Nicholson that we bought for $90,000 in 2016. We would do this deal again, buying it for 300,000, which there don't appear to be any comps in that condition. 350. What's this 4-bed one? Yeah, I mean, see, this one isn't nearly quite as beat up as ours was. And it doesn't. I don't have any flooring. This is in much better condition than Nicholson was when we bought it. Much better. This is a cosmetic job. Oh, come on. I don't have time to wait for all these. They're honestly just missing flooring. A little bit of cosmetic work, but what did this sell for? 357. Wow, holy shit. Listen, for 450. What was going on there? I'd buy this house for 357. You're not going to put nearly that much into it. 75, 80,000 in it, maybe. Into it for 420. Probably worth 500 when it's done. Quickly assuming. Don't take my word for it. Tell me I'm wrong, but don't forget, I don't give a shit. So anyway, yeah, it's crazy what some of the great things that have happened for Brockton over the past 9 years. And our good friend and mentor Adelina Vicente is still there, still crushing. His name is probably all over some of these listings and closes. So anyway, I think I'll leave you guys there today. But 118 Nicholson Drive, don't forget it. The deal that we felt like put us on the map. And at the end of the day, it was very successful. We were very happy. Homeowners are clearly very happy they're still there, after a number of years. And really taught us a lot, and maybe boosted our confidence a little bit too much, but that's all right. We wouldn't be here today without those things. So thanks for tuning in today, guys, on Find That Flip. I will sorry, I was not watching the comments, although I don't know who you are. Malvin sounds like a troll or a bot. I don't know. Someone I know, jump in the comments next time. Thanks everybody, and we will see you tomorrow or Monday, as in